Sky Network Midnight News. The CBN imposed fine of N1.35 billion on banks due to shortage of cash availability at ATMs. The Central Bank of Nigeria has imposed penalties amounting to N1.35 billion on 9 deposit money banks for not maintaining sufficient cash availability in their automated teller machines during the holiday season. Each of the banks received a fine of N150 million after inspections showed they were not adhering to the central bank's cash distribution regulations. The banks that have been impacted are Fidelity Bank Plc, First Bank Plc, Keystone Bank Plc, Union Bank Plc, Globus Bank Plc, Providus Bank Plc, Zenith Bank Plc, United Bank for Africa Plc, and Sterling Bank Plc. The imposed fines will be deducted directly from the bank's accounts held with the Central Bank of Nigeria, CBN. In a press release issued on Tuesday, Mrs. Pakama Sidi Ali, the acting director of corporate communications at the CBN, underscored the regulator's dedication to guaranteeing a steady supply of cash. In a clear message of zero tolerance for cash flow disruptions, the Central Bank of Nigeria has sanctioned deposit money banks for failing to make Naira notes available through automated teller machines during the Yuletide season. Each bank was fined N150 meters for non-compliance, in line with the CBN's cash distribution guidelines, following spot checks on their branches. The enforcement action follows repeated warnings from the CBN to financial institutions to guarantee seamless cash availability, particularly during periods of high demand. The affected banks include Fidelity Bank Plc, First Bank Plc, Keystone Bank Plc, Union Bank Plc, Globus Bank Plc, Providus Bank Plc, Zenith Bank Plc, United Bank for Africa Plc, and Sterling Bank Plc. Deti December has opened a positive image for Nigeria. Babatunde Fashola.
Use your search engine and enter Dirty December. You will see an entry by Wikipedia. They're already monitoring. But it's happening where? Here. So they found out that in the month of December alone, remittances from diaspora is already equivalent to 4% of Nigeria's GDP. Is that a developmental opportunity? Who is curating it? Who is branding it? Who is mobilizing the manpower around it? So nations live on a subset of tourism that they call MICE. MICE is an acronym for meetings, incentives, conferences, and exhibitions. But it is about destination. One of the things that has come out of this last event of Dirty December is that it has opened a positive image for Nigeria. All of the young men and young women who came here from other parts of the world are reliving their experiences on social media. So there's interest in the place called Lagos in Nigeria, and we can expand it. And it's for us to be deliberate, to be intentional, and to have mandates around tourism. As our guest lecturer has told us, Dirty December has opened the door. Are we ready to seize it? Why should Dirty December end in Lagos? Why should it not spread? So are we preparing for the next one? Who are going to be the transporters? Who are going to provide the accommodation? There was almost shortage of accommodation. So how many of us are ready to leave our homes, furnish them, do them up, and rent them out during the period? Because the demand will come. And if we don't respond, it will go somewhere else. So for those who have been to Mecca for pilgrimage, those houses we live in, apart from the hotels, can't do it. So people leave their houses, rent them out, and go to their villages to make dollars. That's income, that's opportunity, and prosperity from tourism. But there's a lot of work to be done. and in preparing for the next event. Think of beddings, think of fittings, think of maintenance, think of furnishing, think of repairing vehicles, getting everything. The list and the value chain is endless. Ladies and gentlemen, that is where I want to leave this conversation, just to provoke us to think and to act. And as our guest lecturer said, this nation will rise in our time. Thank you very much.
Breaking. President Bola Tinubu approved palliative supports for SUG presidents across 36 states and FCT. President Bola Tinubu has broadened the reach of the Rice Palliative Initiative to benefit the presidents of student union governments in each of Nigeria's 36 states, as well as in the Federal Capital Territory. The rice distribution to the presidents of the Student Union Government, SUG, was coordinated through the Office of the Special Advisor on Student Engagement to the President, ASFAN Sunday. While sharing rice with students in Abuja on Tuesday, ASFAN expressed that this initiative is part of the President's ongoing support for both students and the local community. He highlighted the importance of this effort, especially in December 2024, when the President extended palliative assistance to student leaders for the Christmas and New Year celebrations. He said, "Today, the SUG presidents across the Federation, by God's grace, will also receive their rice from President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, a man who understands the importance of students as leaders not only of tomorrow but also of today." The President gave them the rice, but unfortunately, the rice arrived in Abuja very late, around December 28 last year. So, this year, we thought it wise to ask them to come to Abuja so that we could personally hand over the rice to them. We selected 2 SUG presidents from each zone to represent them and manage the distribution of the palliative. It has never happened in the history of this country that the President will reach out to stakeholders and student leaders, particularly SUG presidents, in December. This is the first time it's happening. This will be a time for Nigerian youth and students to reflect and express their thoughts while engaging with the government. The students and youth of this country are now feeling the presence of the government and experiencing its impact. We were informed that all SUG presidents across the 36 states of the nation should come and receive rice, a gesture from the President. We are sincerely appreciative and commend him for these initiatives, starting with the Nigerian Education Loan Fund and now the Rice Initiative. We are looking forward to more. U.S. President Donald J. Trump just announced the External Revenue Service. He said, "For far too long, we have relied on taxing our great people using the Internal Revenue Service, IRS. Through soft and pathetically weak trade agreements, the American economy has delivered growth and prosperity to the world, while taxing ourselves. It is time for that to change. I am today announcing that I will create the External Revenue Service to collect our tariffs, duties, and all revenue that come from foreign sources. We will begin charging those that make money off of us with trade, and they will start paying, finally, their fair share." January 20, 2025, will be the birth date of the External Revenue Service. Make America Great Again.